All praises to the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rahaha Qadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, laboring in His truth in all sincerity. Before I get started with Psalm chapter 113, verse 5 in the Lashawan Qadash, I just want to read from Ecclesiasticus chapter 1, verse 1. And this is about midway down where I'm going to start from. And I'm going to start with, "Wherefore let me entreat you to read it with favor and attention, and to pardon us, wherein we may seem to come short of some words, which we have labored to interpret. For the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue have not the same force in them. And not only these things, but the law itself, and the prophets, and the rest of the books, have no small difference when they are spoken in their own language." Okay, now I'm going to get into Psalm 113, verse 5. I'm going to start with the KJV. "Who is like unto Yahweh, our power, who dwelleth on high?" Now I'm going to read Psalm 113, verse 5 in the YLT, or the Young's Literal Translation. "Who is as Yahweh, our power? He is exalting himself to sit." And that's with a question mark. That is a rhetorical question there, the way it's worded in the Young's Literal Translation. So now I'm going to read this in the Lashawan Qadash. "Maya Kai Yahweh, Alahayanawa, Ha Magabayaya, La Shabbath." So who, as we see here at the bottom, who is Maya? Like unto Yahweh, or as Yahweh, would be Ka Yahweh. So once again, who? Maya. Like unto Yahweh, or as Yahweh, Ka Yahweh. Our power, Alahayanawa. The one who is on high, Ha Magabayaya. And the very last word we see here is, in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, is La Shabbath, meaning to sit, and I put in parentheses, seated, or to dwell, and I put in parentheses, dwelling. So once again, Maya Ka Yahweh, Alahayanawa, Ha Magabayaya, La Shabbath. So I want to come back to this phrase here. The one who is on high, or he who is on high. Once again, that's Ha Magabayaya. So this one here, I pretty much had to go into a little bit of a AI overview, as well as some linguistics here, but I'll start with what I found here. So the particular word that I used was Ha Magabayaya, means the one who exalts, the one who raises high, or the one who elevates. This exact form appears in the famous Bible hub verse, Psalm 113 and 5, which reads, "Who is like our power?" Who is like Yahweh, our power, that is enthroned on high. See, here they have that is enthroned on high. The linguistic breakdown, Ha is the definitive article, which means the. Magabaya, the present tense masculine singular participle of the verb Lahagbaya, which means to raise or to elevate. The final Ya, which we see at the end there, if you look at the very end of the word here, where I have the one who is on high, Hamagabaya, and then you see the final Ya at the very end of it there. I have the cursor right to the right of it is where you see the final Ya, and this is what they're talking about there. The final Ya serves as the classical poetic suffix known as the herek, compaginous, often used in biblical prayers or hymns to add a flowing, majestic tone. So then I looked it up in the Ancient Paleo Hebrew on Google AI Overview, which basically it says the root word Gaba or Gabaha, which relates to height, elevation, or loftiness. Prefixes. The prefix ha means the suffix ya refers to her, to her, for her, which has nothing to do with this particular lesson here. English translation, the one who raises her or the one who elevates her. So I believe that the Google AI Overview, if they're using her to describe Israel as a nation, I believe that's what they're doing, is what I should be trying to say actually, but I'm not quite certain on that. But I pretty much got hung up on this for a little while here as I was trying to get this verse, and which is the reason why I wanted to start with Ecclesiasticus chapter 1, where I started from let me entreat you to read it with favor and attention, and to pardon us wherein we may seem to come short of some words which we have labored to interpret. And so just giving you a little background on how I came to this particular, where I have the one who is on high. That's how I have it interpreted, is the one who is on high, which is not too much different if you look at some translations to this. If you come to Bible study tools and you look at some compared translations for Psalm 113 and 5, Holman Christian Standard Bible has it as the one who is enthroned on high. English Standard Version, who is seated on high, who dwelleth on high for the King James Version. The Message Bible, so majestically enthroned. New American Standard Bible, who is enthroned on high. New International Version, the one who sits enthroned on high. New King James Version, who dwells on high. So as you can see, there's slight, nothing major, but there's slight, different interpretations of how this should be translated here, which they pretty much all mean the same thing. But then that brings me back to the Young's Literal Translation, which is the actual one that I like to use when I'm studying Hebrew. And like I always mention, the Young's Literal Translation, not so much for how it interprets or translates the words, each particular word itself, but more so because it gives you a more accurate comparison when you're comparing the sentence structure of English to Hebrew. And so that's the only reason why I like using the Young's Literal Translation, which it says, who is Yahweh our power? He is exalting himself to sit. And it's a rhetorical question, which you have to read the entire chapter, either in the KJV, the YLT, to understand why they have it written like that, as if it's a rhetorical question. Now I'll get into that real fast here. Psalm 113 and 5. If you go down to even the NLT has it as a question also. Who can be compared with Yahweh our power, who was enthroned on high? He stoops to look down on heaven and on earth. He lifts the poor from the dust and the needy from the garbage dump. He sets them among princes, even the princes of his own people. He gives the childless woman a family, making her a happy mother. Praise Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And so that's the reason why when we look at the YLT, in order to understand why they have a question mark there, like they're asking it as a rhetorical question, same as the NLT as compared to the KJV, which after who dwelleth on high, there's a comma, and then you would have to go to verse 6 to understand that the Most High, He's on high. He's above the heavens and the earth. But he still looks down and he raises up the poor. He raises up the meek, as you can see in the remaining part of the verse, which is why the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is a power that is worthy to be praised. And this is something that we can never take for granted here, because he is our power. So once again, who is like unto Yahweh, our power, who dwelleth on high? That's the KJV. Who is as Yahweh, our power? He is exalting himself to sit. And so I have in my translation at the bottom, the one who is on high. And then you can see the very next word there in Paleo Hebrew is Lashabath. So you can read this as who is like unto Yahweh, our power, the one who is on high seated, or the one who is on high dwelling. And so this is the reason why I put seated in parentheses, or dwelling in parentheses. Who is like unto Yahweh, our power, the one who is on high seated. So, and as you can see also here in the, like I said, there's several different, slightly different translations here. He lives in the heights above. He lives in the heights above. He is seated on his high throne. He has his seat on high. That's the Hebrew Names Version. Jubilee Bible, God who dwells all, our power who dwells on high. King James Version with the Apocrypha, our power who dwelleth on high. The Lexham English Bible, who is enthroned on high, who dwells in high places, who rules from heaven, is the New Century Version. So you can see that they pretty much all saying, the overall gist of it is they're all saying the same thing. It's just there's a slight, I guess over the centuries, over the past few millennia, there's certain words or things that have gotten, mistranslated, as they get translated from one language to another. So there's going to be certain inaccuracies there in terms of, trying to figure out which one is actually the correct interpretation. But, the Young's Literal Translation, that's the one that says he is exalting himself to sit. Rhetorical question. And it's no, he's not exalting himself to sit. You have to read the rest of the chapter to understand. Like once again, he stoops down. He stoops to look down on heaven and earth. He lifts the poor from the dust. So as we can see, the Most High he's lifting, he's exalting the meek. He's exalting the poor. As it says here, verse 7, he lifts the poor from the dust and the needy from the garbage dump. He sets them among princes, even the princes of his own people. He gives the childless woman a family, making her a happy mother. Praise Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So with that, let's see if there's any other slides that I had that I wanted to go into. I think that pretty much hit the main points there. So I'll read it one final time in the KJV. This time I'll just use the KJV and the ancient Paleo Hebrew to close it out. So once again, Psalm 113:5 in the KJV, who is like unto Yahweh, our power, who dwelleth on high. Psalm 113:5 in the Lashawan Qadash, Maya Ka Yahweh Alahayanawa, Hamagabayaya La Shabbath. I pray this has been edifying and reaches the ears it's supposed to reach. Shalom.